Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how I manifested my dream house. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the Dutch Caribbean and the beautiful island of Bonaire. Here we are with another big video. This really is a masterclass in manifesting anything. I'm going to talk about this guy who manifested his dream house. Talks about a situation 14 months ago where he was renting for a long time, him and his wife. Deep in debt, $40,000 in the red. 14 months later, they're moving into the house that he imagined, the house that he described, and all debt is paid off. Not only that, with a baby on the way, because he imagined being in his dream house with a new family. Wow. This is powerful. This contrasts with another one of you that made a comment either on a video or on Facebook that my team sent to me, because I like to answer those comments that seem to be a cry for help, right? A cry. This was tears of joy, tears of fulfillment, and this other subscriber's contact was more of a cry for help, tears of, I need to get this, right? And this person talked about things that bug them about things that are some of our messages on the channel, right? Or we talk about this idea of shifting realities or manifesting billions of frames per second. But even that idea is a concession to linear time, because everything's here and now. You're moving so fast, or on the other hand, so slow, that you're standing still, that everything's here and now. It's all simultaneous. So even that idea is a concession to the idea of time and space. But the fact that you're saying that bugs you, that there are no facts, that there's no support for it, you're creating that reality of no facts. You get to determine your facts, your reality. And then he goes, and one more thing, doing a video every day just seems unnecessary, right? Talking about the same thing or another way to manifest. Why not just follow the messages of Neville in the Bible? Isn't that enough? Well, it certainly could be enough, but it doesn't sound like it's enough for you, because you're creating a reality of complaining. You're creating a reality that bugs you. It's not anything outside of you. It's not anything we're doing that's bugging you. It's you being bugged by you. So we're going to talk about this idea today and more. Remember, how I manifested my dream house 14 months ago, rented for a very long time, was deep in debt, $40,000 in the red. 14 months later, moved into a dream house. All debts paid off. The house that he wanted, the house that he imagined, with a new baby on the way, right? I started putting some of the techniques you have talked about many times into effect. Taking time each day to be grateful for all that I have, for all that I have in my abundance. Wow. Hear this. It's a masterclass, right? The simplicity is so beautiful, but the power is insanely infinite. For all that I am, in other words, that's what he's saying, for all that I am. That's the meaning of that. Remember, gratitude and love is your core essence. It's your core state of being. It's not mere emotion. It's a state of I am. It's a state of knowing. A state of gratitude and a state of abundance is a state of knowing yourself as source. Absolute abundance and fulfillment. Right? So we're going to talk about this cry for help versus this is tears of fulfillment. When he understood what he manifested. We're going to talk about this. This is big. So he says this, while standing in the house of his dreams, I had an experience yesterday that blew me away. So we just got this a few days ago, 4 days ago. So this is very recent. As he's standing in his dream house now, with a baby on the way, with his wife, he had an experience that blew him away. And we're going to talk about what this experience is a little bit later in here. But remember that he moved into the house 2 weeks ago, and his wife now is 7.5 months pregnant. So just moved into the house, has a new baby in the way. What he dreamed of, what he imagined 14 months ago. Whew. Powerful. As he stayed in that absolute state of gratitude, no matter what the conditions were. Wow. This is an absolute masterclass in how gratitude, hear this, Gratitude implies absolute fulfillment. It's the implication. It's a masterclass in how gratitude implies that, how gratitude creates the metaphysical mold or the metaphysical blueprint of everything you desire and want. And that must be filled in with everything you want and desire then. Do you see that? How gratitude here and now collapses time and space, creating the physical bridge of your wish fulfilled. An amazing physical bridge of unfolding of this fulfillment. Wow. Gratitude implies the future's now. Gratitude implies absolute fulfillment. It's the metaphysical mold. It's the metaphysical blueprint that must be filled in with everything that you want and desire. It's law. Wow. Right? Creating that metaphysical bridge. Gratitude's not just a mere emotion. And again, it's an elevated emotion, as Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. As elevated it is, it's not just it's a state of being. It's not just a mere emotion. It's a state of grace that is your core essence or frequency or vibration as an individualized, personalized, localized, physically focused center of I am awareness of all that is, of that one divine mind. Wow. Gratitude creates your world of more and more things, hear this, to be grateful for. Not because you need them to be grateful, but because gratitude's your core essence as source, it's as existence itself, as I am awareness. It's not out of need, it's out of recognition that you are all things. Wow. And it reminds me of the widow's oil. His process to manifest this house is a great demonstration of, in Scripture, they talk about the widow's oil, right? And 2 Kings 4:2. Check this out. I've talked about this in many videos. But the widow, her husband dies, right? And her husband was always loyal to the law. In other words, was always in awe of the law or in awe of God. It says always feared God, but remember what fear means in Scripture. It means to be in awe of, to be in amazement of that higher power. So the husband was representing us seeing that higher power as somehow outside of us, right? That we're not one with it. That we want the law to work, but there's still room for us to complain and say, oh yeah, it's not working. Or sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, right? So she cries out to Elijah because the creditors are going to take her 2 sons. I've talked about this. I'm not going to unpack the details of this in this video because I've done it in many others. You can look that up in our channel. But the point here is Elijah asks her when she says, you know, they're about to take my house. My husband died, right? Her source, right? She thinks that her source died, right? She no longer sees herself as source. What do you have in your house? This is what Elijah asks her. What do you have in your house? Wow. In other words, do you recognize what your core essence is, what your core vibration or frequency is as source? That you are one with the Father, that you're one with Source, that you are all that is. What do you have in your house? Are you recognizing any of that? That's powerful. So the widow, nothing except a small jar of oil, not recognizing what they have. Remember this person who manifested his house, this guy saying, I recognize, I was so thankful for the abundance that I already have. Right? Recognizing that source is within him, that house is already his, that family's already there, right? Versus the other guy, right, who is complaining, which we're going to show you today, right? Saying, I'm bugged. I'm bugged when you say this, or when we say when there's no proof or no facts. And also, I'm bugged that you do a video every day. Right? He's bugged about that. Why is it necessary? Why can't I just settle into the Neville teachings in the Bible? Yeah, settle in, but you haven't, because you're seeing non-fulfillment everywhere. You're being bugged, right? You're creating that reality. So the widow represents, like this person who's a cry for help. Remember, we want to answer you with the fulfillment that you are. So I realize that we go through these things, right? I know what you're saying. I used to be bugged too. I was there. I know. I'm with you, right? We feel that lack, we feel that separation, we feel that non-fulfillment. That's what the widow represents, right? She's widowed from fulfillment, widowed from her source, right? Or feels widowed. Feels widowed, right? But your house is your core essence. So what do you have in your house? That's what Elijah, representing your I am awareness in this story from 2 Kings 4, right? Your house is your core essence or core vibration, a source. When you measure this infinite, inexhaustible source or substance of supply that you are by appearances, it seems skimpy, it seems scarce, it seems scanty, right? She's measuring that source that she is, what she has in her house, that essence that she is, by the appearances. By, oh, it only appears to be a small jar of oil. I appear to be in lack and separation, measuring it by what's going on out there, looking for proof and evidence out there in the circumstances, right? He's in $40,000 in debt, if you remember. If he was looking for proof there, he would say, there's nothing in my house but this debt. I don't see a way to this dream house or being happy with my family and a baby on the way. Stop waiting and wanting circumstances to change before pouring out the love and gratitude within you. Remember what Elijah asked her to do with that oil. Find some empty vessels, empty jars, and pour it all out. Everything you have into those jars. And what happened? It was an inexhaustible source. It wasn't just a little oil. It was non-stop oil as she was pouring. Pour it all out. Pour all the love and gratitude that's already within you out. Like this guy did. He wrote a letter, and we're going to show you this today, right? Pour it all out unconditionally with the knowing that you are source and all that is and all that you desire. Holding on until things change keeps you widowed and in lack and poverty. Do you see? It keeps you in that state of being widowed from everything you want. Pour it all out. Pour the gratitude and the love out there. Right, from the recognition that you're source of it all, that it's inexhaustible, that's your core essence no matter what the appearances are saying. As Elijah said, pour it out, pour it all out. And again, Elijah's your I am awareness. It's an inexhaustible source. It wasn't just 3 drops of oil, a little oil. It was oil and more oil and more oil. As long as she kept pouring, that oil kept coming. As long as she had vessels to fill, that oil kept pouring. It's inexhaustible, right? Remember, that source or that supply or that substance that you are is inexhaustible. But you're the operant power. You're the one that puts demand on it. So what are you doing? Are you telling stories of what bugs you? Are you telling stories about, I don't see the sense in seeing a video. You're just saying, I'm bored with my life. I'm bummed about everything. And I don't know how to get out. That's what you're really saying. I get it. I've been there. But your source, right? Don't be bugged, be source. The Gospel of Thomas said it here. And I've quoted this verse 3 from the Gospel of Thomas, from the Lost Gospel of Thomas many times. When you know yourselves, you'll be known. And you'll realize that you're children of the living source. When you know yourself as gratitude and love itself, as that core essence, as a state of grace, everything will reflect that. That's what Jesus is saying there. You'll be known. Everything around you will reflect that. You'll know yourself as the living source, as that core essence or individualized, personalized aspect of all that is. Not just a part of all that is, but all that is itself. Any part of all that is all that is. It's a hologram. Remember, infinity or God or all that is holographic. Wherever all that is at all that is. Wherever God is at all of God is. Wherever you are in your fulfillment, all of your fulfillment is there. Where you stand here and now. That's what that's saying. As Elijah said, pour it all out. A Course in Miracles says, hold on to nothing. Right? Fill those empty vessels or jars or those circumstances of scarcity or lack. Right? Fill it with love and gratitude. It's not about what you reap, but what you sow. Right? Start focusing on put your focus on what you sow, not what you reap. Right? And I think there was some quote, some spiritual teacher, sow where you want to go. In other words, don't keep looking out there at the reapings that you believe are lackful or scarce. Sow where you want to go, right? Your sowing is the evidence and proof, right? That gratitude and love and that demonstration of that is the evidence and proof of everything you want. It's the metaphysical blueprint. But if you don't know yourselves, this is what Jesus says in verse 3, he continues, but if you don't know yourself, then you'll live in poverty, and you are the poverty. Wow. A good example is that one subscriber that has that cry for help, that this bugs me, and another thing bugs me, and there's no facts, there's nothing to support what you're saying, right? I can't find the evidence of it. You're the evidence, right? And unless you know that you're the evidence of your reality, that you're a source, you're going to live in poverty. But more than that, you're going to be that poverty because you are reality, you are source, you are the substance itself. There's nothing outside of you, right? We're seeing miracles everywhere on the channel right now. Where are you? Moses, God calling out to Moses. Here I am, Moses answers. I'm asking, where are you? Are you in a state where things bug you? Where you can't watch a video every day because you feel so unfulfilled? Right? Where are you? Mind-blowing experience. So this is what this subscriber said who manifested the house. Yesterday, as I was cleaning out my car, I found a letter to myself that I wrote 14 months ago when I was $40,000 in debt and no prospects of a house or family. Remember, his wife's now 7.5 months pregnant. This was 14 months ago. No sign of a baby, no house. He had totally forgotten about this letter. He was in awe. He said, I was in awe when I found it. I opened it and was in tears. Tears of fulfillment versus a cry for help. Right? Tears of fulfillment as I read the words I wrote, standing in the house, the very house that he wrote about. Right? It reflected, he says here, it reflected everything that unfolded. A literal blue, or I say this, that letter, I'm going to go over some of the contents. It reflected everything that unfolded, a literal blueprint, a metaphysical blueprint created with unconditional love and gratitude. He says here, shortly after paying off my debt, a house was purchased by a family member for a renovation. So this is a family member that happened to be purchasing a house to renovate. This is after he paid off his debt during this 14 months. And he goes, this family member, I think it was a cousin, this family member took the house from being a mess to being the most beautiful house on the block or in the neighborhood. Right? He says on the block. He goes, Tom, this house has everything my wife and I wanted in a house. The house that his cousin renovated and then sold to him, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is the perfect house that he wanted. It's the one he described that he would be in with his new family, his, quote, future family. This is powerful. My cousin sold us the house, and because it has a rental suite, it's unbelievably affordable. A rental suite, right? Reflecting the letter of love and gratitude he wrote to the universe or God. It's reflected in that letter that he wrote. He wrote to the universe or God or your higher self, whatever you want to call it. He attached a photo of this letter in his email with the original envelope. There was an envelope he had a photo of, and it just said home. Just home. Right on the envelope. He put that letter in an envelope and labeled it home. Wow. 3 times in this letter I noticed as I was reading it, he said thank you. Say it again. Just say the word thank you. I am that I am. Say it again, I am, or thank you, that gratitude. Remember, I talked about in June when I was at a spiritual retreat, and one of the shaman was doing a speech before a ceremony, right, or at the beginning of the ceremony. And he said, just when you're sick of saying thank you, say it again. Say it again. He said it 3 times, right? 3 times in this letter. This house we own is incredible. Everything we dreamed of and more. That's in his letter, right? This is his letter now. This is the letter he wrote. He's writing a letter about being in his dream house. Thank you for the blessing to us and our future family. Wow, this is the letter. And what's cool about this, it sounds like he's talking from the new house because he collapsed time and space. He's saying the same thing now as he's in the house as he said 14 months ago when he was writing the letter. Right, the future family. It's still a future family, right? She's 7.5 months pregnant, so the baby's on the way. Do you get the chills here? I'm getting the tingles with this. This is so powerful. He's in that. This is the letter he wrote 14 months ago. Those comments before was what he was talking about as being in the house right now. They're exactly the same. Got a little choked up. Thank you for showing me. No water here, guys. Thank you for showing me what true abundance is of time, wealth, love, and health and gratitude. Wow. This is in his letter, right? He could be saying this now as he's standing in the house. He collapsed time and space. He says it here in his letter. Thank you for 3 times. Thank you. Thank you for showing me what true abundance is of time, wealth, love, health, and gratitude. I could never have imagined the deal going down like this and how little we paid and how much we received. How little they paid, how much they received. It was a deal with their cousin. He didn't mention the cousin here. That was part of the physical bridge, the unfolding. But he could have never imagined it. He says it here. How this deal was amazing. I could have never imagined it. This was his letter he wrote 14 months ago. His peek into the future. How little we paid and how much he received. Received the exact dream house that also has a rental suite. So he gets money coming in. This is powerful. What a contrast from this other subscriber who lives in poverty and is that poverty, this cry for help, right? I'm quoting from the Gospel of Thomas. This is what he said, some of the things he said. I know it's a cry for help. I'm bringing this out because I want you to move to where this guy who manifested his dream house is. Because it's the only place to be, in love and gratitude. That's where the action's at. One thing bugs me. No fact, capital letters, no fact, and there's no comprehension of your statement, no proof, that we're moving billions of times of frames per second, right? We're shifting billions of... You believe what you want to believe. If you believe you're stuck and not going anywhere, that's going to be your reality. No one's forcing you to believe anything. But we're saying when you believe, when you know, right? You are all that is. That's a concession. The idea that we're moving billions of frames per second is a concession to linear time. It's not even that. We're not even moving. We're like Moses. I am, here I am. Everything's here and now. So it's only movement of thought, right? And even that, even when you go beyond thought, there's just your awareness. There's just the knowing that goes nowhere. It's beyond thought. It's beyond all that. So you're just struggling for no reason here. You got, and then you suggest you could say something more believable so people wouldn't get caught up in the Velcro. You're the one getting caught up in the Velcro. You create your own reality. There are no people out there getting caught up in Velcro or getting caught up in this message. You are. You said, hey, that's just my 2 cents. Yes. And you're creating a reality where you believe it's just 2 cents. Here's something to add. Here's my 2 cents. It's not valuable. It's just 2 cents. It's just do you see? You're creating all of that. Then he doubles down on his reality of non-fulfillment and the state of being bugged by complaining about Be Something Wonderful doing a video every day. Isn't it enough, he asks, to just get what Neville in the Bible mentioned? Sure, but you determine that. And clearly you're not getting it. You're not getting what Neville in the Bible is saying because you're bugged, because you're complaining, because you're not creating, you're complaining. Right? You're complaining about reality versus creating it. And you're creating a reality to complain about. That's all. You're creating a reality to be bugged about. You create the bugs. You're the bugging. Right? Clearly it's enough because you're still... Clearly it's not enough is what I'm saying here. Because you're still creating a reality of being bugged and miserable. complaining about the reality you're creating in every moment. You're shifting in every moment, for sure. Billions of times per second, creating realities that you're bugged about, right? So what others do or don't do is irrelevant. They're reflections of you. It's you that's bugging you. Do you see this? This is powerful. So stop complaining about reality and start creating it. Sow love and gratitude instead of non-fulfillment and things that bug you. Complaining just sows non-fulfillment. Sow love and gratitude, right? Sow as you go, right? Stop measuring and judging reality by what you reap, but by what you sow. Sow it as you go. Sow love and gratitude. Sow fulfillment. Sow love. Sow gratitude. Sow it all. Everything is here and now. You move frames so fast or shift reality so fast that you actually don't move. In other words, either at your highest point of love and gratitude, you're moving so fast that you're standing still. That's what be still and know that I am God, that you are the knowing, you reach that knowing. Or you're in such a state of despair and non-fulfillment that you're moving so slow that it appears that you're standing still. Both of those ends meet into absolute love and unity of reality. That's powerful. So no matter where you go, there's nowhere to go but God. There's nowhere to go but love and gratitude. You're going there anyway. Either you go you hit despair, and then on the other side of despair is absolute love, or you hit absolute love and there's just love. But it's all love, right? You walk further enough east, you're going to be west. Further enough south, you're going to be north. It's all you. So pour it all out, all the love and gratitude that you have within, and watch it multiply like the widow's oil. And like this guy who really demonstrated a masterclass on manifesting anything, right? Manifesting his dream home. I manifested a dream house. That's how. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, on TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, or anywhere on social media at either Tom Caron or Be Something Wonderful. And thank you for being part of our membership channel. Don't forget, we have another live stream this Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to be back at our studios on the West Coast in the United States at 9 a.m. Pacific time in the morning, on Saturday morning, not Sunday morning, Saturday morning, November 16, 2024 at 9 a.m. We're going to have our next live stream. If you're a member, join us. If you're not a member, check out the link below. We just had a great live stream about 2 weeks ago. So this is another one. I'm going to answer your questions live in the chat, and also those questions you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, with great love and great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Caron here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.